JayZ is done for. People are saying he's hiding a secret baby with Lori Harvey, and that's just the start. This whole situation has the internet spinning because new lawsuits are dragging him straight into Diddy's nightmare. We're talking allegations involving a 13-year-old victim that could end the Carter dynasty forever. The king is falling, and it's straight terrifying. Everybody thought they knew the full story about the Carters. We thought they were the untouchable power couple, the king and queen sitting on the throne of the music industry. We bought the image of the perfect marriage, the billionaires, the black excellence blueprint. That was the version everyone repeated for decades. We thought the elevator incident was just family drama. We thought the rumors were just haters talking. But now, new footage and horrifying court documents have got the whole narrative twisting into something dark. Everything we thought we knew was a lie, a carefully crafted illusion. The internet isn't just whispering anymore, they are screaming. The curtain is being pulled back, and what's behind it isn't royalty, it's a horror show. The narrative has shifted from relationship goals to predatory evil overnight. And honestly, once you see what the deep dive investigators have uncovered, you can never unsee it. The Carter empire isn't just cracking, it is crumbling into dust right before our eyes. Let's get straight into the receipts because the internet is absolutely losing its mind over this Lorie Harvey situation. TMZ hasn't confirmed the DNA test yet, but the streets are talking and the evidence fans are compiling is starting to look overwhelming. It started as a whisper, a blind item that nobody wanted to believe, but then the photos resurfaced. Fans online turned into investigators, and they went straight back to that infamous 2019 Roc Nation brunch. You know the one. In this leaked clip, you can clearly see Lorie Harvey smiling, but it's not just a polite smile. Online detectives slowed down the frames, zoomed in, and analyzed the body language. They're claiming there is a familiarity there that goes way beyond just an industry acquaintance. They're pointing out the eye contact, they're pointing out the proximity. And for anyone who doesn't know, Beyonce is standing mere feet away in that same clip. People are saying that smile was the smoking gun we all missed. It's chilling when you look at it now with the context of these secret baby allegations. And it gets even crazier. Online sleuths took this to a new level, digging into every detail like they're on some CSI mission. They started studying facial features. Side-by-side comparisons of JayZ and the alleged child are flooding TikTok and Twitter. People are swearing there is an 88% similarity in the facial structure. They're looking at the nose shape, the eyes, everything. It's speculation, but the visual evidence people are putting together is hard to ignore. And look at the reaction. The Beehive, Beyonce's loyal army, usually shuts this stuff down instantly. But this time, they swarmed Lori's comments trying to erase her from existence. But the energy is different. It feels desperate. It feels like they know something is wrong. Why go that hard if it's just a rumor? Usually they laugh it off. This time, they went for the throat. That tells you something. But let's go deeper into the timeline. Insiders are pointing to a sickening pattern. This allegedly didn't just happen once. Sources are whispering that this has been an ongoing situation, hidden behind ironclad NDAs and hush money. We're hearing reports that the perfect marriage has been a sham for years, held together by contracts, not love. And this Lorie Harvey news, it might be the breach of contract that blows the whole thing up. Think about the silence. Usually, JayZ would drop a verse addressing the haters. Usually, Beyonce would post a picture to silence the noise. But right now, radio silence. And that silence is louder than any song they could release. It suggests that their legal teams are scrambling. It suggests that this isn't just gossip, it's a crisis. And for those saying it's just a rumor, look at the movements. Reports are circulating that lawyers are meeting behind closed doors. We're seeing blind items about an A-list rapper negotiating a massive settlement to keep a paternity scandal quiet. Who else fits that description right now? The pieces of the puzzle are fitting together in a way that looks terrible for JayZ. Go back to that photo. The way Lori is looking at him. People are saying it's the look of someone who holds a secret, someone who knows they have leverage. And if the rumors are true that she is carrying his child or has his child, that is the ultimate leverage. It destroys the family man image he's spent the last decade building. It destroys the legacy. So you have the visual evidence from the brunch, you have the aggressive reaction from the Beehive, you have the terrified silence from the Carter camp, and you have the timeline that lines up perfectly with the rumors. Online detectives are saying the math is mathing, and the result is a scandal that is going to shatter the music industry. But honestly, the baby drama, that's just the tip of the iceberg. What's coming next makes this look like child's play. Now, let's get into the motive and the backstory, because this is where everything starts clicking into a terrifying picture. JayZ isn't just dealing with a paternity scandal. He's arguably facing the complete dismantling of his existence. Why is this happening now? Why is the floodgate opening? It's because the power dynamic has shifted. JayZ has been sitting on top of the world for decades. He's the billionaire, the mogul, the guy who tells us how to get rich. But insiders are saying the money isn't enough to protect him anymore. The shield is gone. With Sean D. Combs rotting in a cell, the protection that the elite circle provided for each other is gone. They're turning on each other. You have to understand the history here. JayZ and Diddy weren't just friends. They were the architects of the culture. They ran New York. They ran the parties. And now, deep web sleuths are claiming Diddy's white parties weren't celebrations. They were traps. Insiders whisper that JayZ wasn't just a guest, he was a co-host in the VIP rooms where the cameras were turned off and the real party began. This is what people are calling the hunting grounds theory. The idea is that these parties were designed to compromise people, to get dirt on everyone, and JayZ was right there in the mix. For years, people wondered why JayZ was so untouchable. Why did nobody speak up against him? It's because he held the keys. But now that Diddy's down, the keys are on the floor and people are picking them up. Think about that elevator incident. That kind of fall-off hits different now. We were told it was about JayZ wanting to go to a party, but watch the video again. Solange wasn't just mad, she was attacking a monster. She was fighting for her sister's life, allegedly. People are now speculating that Solange knew about the dark side back then. She knew about the predatory behavior. She was trying to stop him from dragging Beyonce deeper into the mud. And let's talk about the jealousy angle. Not romantic jealousy, but power jealousy. JayZ needs to be the king. He needs to be the one in control. But as Beyonce's star rose higher and higher, becoming a global deity, JayZ's reputation started to get murky. He cheated, he lied, he almost lost her. Lemonade was a humiliation for him, even if they spun it into profit. Now put all that together, it looks like the perfect recipe for a total collapse. Sources suggest Beyonce isn't leaving yet because the financial entanglement is too deep. We are talking about a billion-dollar divorce. There are whispers of ironclad NDAs and spousal privilege being used as a shield. JayZ allegedly set up his marriage like a business, specifically to prevent this exact moment. He knew the skeletons in his closet were too loud, so he built a fortress of money to silence them. But money can't stop the feds, and it can't stop a victim who has nothing left to lose. JayZ's motive for silence is clear, self-preservation. But the motive for the leaks? That's revenge. Industry insiders are leaking that JayZ is being set up as the next sacrifice. Just like R. Kelly was the fall guy, just like Diddy is the fall guy, the powers that be are preparing to feed JayZ to the wolves to save the rest of the elite. The narrative is flipping. He's not the genius businessman anymore. In the eyes of the internet, he's becoming the monster, the guy who stepped on everyone to get to the top, the guy who allegedly groomed young talent, the guy who was best friends with a trafficker. That stain doesn't wash off, and it gets worse for them because the public is hungry for accountability. This is why the Lori Harvey rumor is so damaging. It fits the pattern. It reinforces the idea that he has no self-control, that he preys on women connected to his circle, that he betrays the people closest to him. It's not just an affair, it's a confirmation of character. It validates every bad thing anyone has ever whispered about him. So you have a crumbling empire, and exposed history with Diddy, a marriage held together by contracts, and a public that is waking up to the truth. JayZ is fighting a war on 3 fronts: the legal front, the public relations front, and the domestic front. And right now, he is losing on all of them. The motive for his destruction is simple. The truth always claws its way out of the grave. But here's the part that really hits different. We get caught up in the celebrity names, the billions of dollars, the headlines, but we forget that there are real human beings getting crushed in this machinery. The one who got caught up in the middle of all this, the one who truly matters, is the victim. We are talking about a 13-year-old girl, a child. Let that sink in. While JayZ was popping bottles and rapping about being a god, there was allegedly a child living a nightmare. This person barely started their life, barely knew what the world was, and they ended up in a terrifying situation because of grown men who thought they were above the law. That's messed up. That is beyond messed up. Imagine the fear. Imagine being 13 years old, surrounded by powerful men, unable to speak, unable to run. The leaked details, which are too horrific to fully describe here, paint a picture of absolute helplessness. You can see the pain in the way the story is being told. That's somebody's daughter, that's somebody's granddaughter, and they are dealing with trauma over a situation they had absolutely no power over. This isn't the first time we've heard stories like this, and that's the tragedy. How many other girls were there? How many voices were silenced with money? How many lives were destroyed so that a rapper could keep his clean image? When you hear about these lawsuits, don't just think about JayZ losing money. Think about the girl who lost her childhood. Think about the years of therapy. Think about the nightmares. And honestly, we have to look at Beyonce differently too. Is she a conspirator, or is she another victim of a master manipulator? Imagine finding out the man you built a life with, the father of your children, is accused of something so monstrous. The betrayal there is on a spiritual level. If she was lied to, if she was kept in the dark, she is living a prison of secrets. The pain in this story is real, it's heavy, and it's the reason why this isn't just drama, it's a crime scene. Now, buckle up, because the king and queen of music aren't just falling from the throne, they are being violently dragged into court. Let's talk about the bombshell lawsuit that has officially named JayZ alongside the disgraced Sean Diddy Combs. This is the smoking gun. Legal documents are surfacing that allegedly place JayZ at the scene of the crime. We aren't talking about he heard about it. We are talking about accusations of direct participation. The lawsuit reportedly claims that in 2000, during the height of their power, these crimes took place. This isn't alleged misconduct. This is predatory evil, and the internet has the receipts. But it gets crazier. Everyone is talking about the Diddy tapes. Rumor has it, Diddy recorded everything. Every party, every guest, every dark deed. And sources are saying that JayZ is terrified because his face is on those tapes. That's why the silence is so loud. If those tapes leak, or if the feds have them, it's a wrap. No amount of money can fix video evidence. And let's bring in the silent witnesses. The internet is looking at Usher and Justin Bieber with fresh eyes. Why did Usher live with Diddy at 13? Why did Bieber look terrified in those old clips? The rumor mill is spinning that these stars are the silent witnesses who hold the keys to JayZ's destruction. They were there. They saw the dynamic. Fans are swearing that Bieber knows where the bodies are buried, metaphorically speaking. They are reportedly terrified to speak for fear of vanishing. But if one of them cracks, if Usher speaks, if Bieber writes a book, the Carter Empire turns to ash. Now let's pivot back to Beyonce. Sources say she has a nuclear option divorce file ready to detonate the entire industry. If the DNA test rumors about Lori Harvey are true, and if the Diddy lawsuit gains traction, she allegedly has a file that exposes everything. We're talking financial records, knowledge of the parties, everything. Why hasn't she used it? Mutually assured destruction. If she takes him down, she might go down with him due to spousal privilege or knowledge of the crimes. But if the ship is sinking anyway, she might jump. Online detectives found old clips of Beyonce looking checked out or dissociated at events with JayZ. They're claiming she's been planning her exit strategy for years. Let's go back to the year 2000. That's the year mentioned in the lawsuit. JayZ was releasing huge hits. He was the king of New York. But behind the scenes, this lawsuit claims he was destroying a 13-year-old's life. It casts a shadow over his entire catalog. Can you listen to the blueprint the same way, knowing what was allegedly happening in the background? The internet says no. We're also hearing about a frantic effort to renew NDAs. Former staff, former interns, people who were around Rockefeller Records back in the day. Reports say they are being approached with bags of cash to sign new silence agreements. Why pay people to be quiet if you have nothing to hide? That's the question everyone is asking. And let's keep it real about the fear factor. People are scared of JayZ. He has immense reach. But the Diddy situation proved that even the most powerful men can fall. The fear is wearing off. Victims are realizing that safety comes in numbers. The more people that speak up, the safer they are. And that dam is breaking. So, we have a specific lawsuit naming him. We have the threat of video evidence from the Diddy raids. We have the weird, terrified silence of peers like Usher and Bieber. And we have the threat of a nuclear divorce from Beyonce. This isn't just smoke. The house is on fire. Now, this whole situation gets even crazier when you realize the patterns. We've seen this movie before. The industry loves to build up a king, let him do whatever he wants, and then sacrifice him when he becomes a liability. Let's talk about the R. Kelly parallel, because it is straight spooky. Remember how everyone knew about R. Kelly for years? JayZ did an album with him, Best of Both Worlds. They toured together. JayZ stood next to him while the whole world whispered about what R. Kelly was doing to young girls. Industry insiders are leaking that JayZ is being set up as the next sacrifice. Just like R. Kelly was the fall guy, the powers that be are preparing to feed JayZ to the wolves. No one is safe. That's the message. The theory is that the industry needs a distraction. They need a big name to go down to make it look like they are cleaning house, so the other elites can stay hidden. JayZ is the perfect target. He's huge, he's arrogant, and he has connections to Diddy. It's the perfect storm. And let's circle back to that elevator one more time, because fans online have been working like full-blown investigators on this specific incident. They are slowing down the audio. They are reading lips. Some people claim Solange yelled, "You think you can just do that to her?" referring to a victim, not just cheating. It changes the whole context. Was Solange the first whistleblower? Was she the only one brave enough to throw hands at the king? And that Lorie Harvey smile, let's look at it from another angle. Maybe it wasn't a smile of love. Maybe it was a smile of power. If she knew the secrets, she owned the room. In that photo, JayZ looks uncomfortable. He looks like he's trying to keep it cool, but his eyes are darting. Beyonce looks stiff. Lori looks relaxed. That dynamic tells a story of leverage. And let's keep it real. Everything is speculation until the gavel drops. But the internet rarely gets it this wrong when there is this much smoke. The memes, the TikTok deep dives, the Twitter threads, they are creating a digital footprint of evidence that the mainstream media is afraid to touch. Mainstream news is scared of JayZ's lawyers. The internet? The internet doesn't care. This destroys the good guy mask. JayZ spent years rebranding himself as the elder statesman of hip-hop, the guy who fights for artist rights, the guy who helps the community. But if he was harming children, if he was silencing victims, that legacy is gone. It was all a costume, and now the costume is being ripped off. And this story is still unfolding with way bigger implications than just one incident or one rapper. What we're seeing here is the death of the idol. We grew up worshiping these people. We put their posters on our walls. We defended them in arguments. But the bigger conversation is about the danger of blind faith in celebrities. When you constantly cover up for powerful men, you create a monster. The industry protected these guys for decades because they made money. The labels knew, the managers knew, the other artists knew. What we are seeing is a system failure. It's not just JayZ, it's the machine that built him. JayZ's situation is a wild example, but it's also a warning for anybody with power. The internet era means nothing stays buried. You can't hide behind NDAs forever. You can't hide behind money forever. The truth has a way of leaking out, pixel by pixel, screenshot by screenshot. We are watching a culture shift. The era of the untouchable mogul is over. We aren't impressed by the billions anymore if the billions were made on the backs of victims. The audience is smarter. We are more cynical, and we are tired of being lied to. If JayZ goes down, who can we trust? It shakes the foundation of the culture. It forces us to question every hero we have. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's time we stop treating these people like gods and start treating them like humans who need to be held accountable. The dominoes aren't just falling, they are being incinerated. JayZ isn't fighting for his reputation anymore. He's fighting to stay out of prison. The Carter dynasty is dead. You can stick a fork in it. Whether he goes to jail or just fades into disgrace, the JayZ we knew is gone. Speculation is running wild that he might flee, or that Beyonce will announce the divorce any day now to save her own brand. But one thing is certain, the silence is about to break, and when it does, the explosion will be heard around the world. We're watching the end of an era, and it's ugly, it's dark, and it's absolutely necessary. The king has no clothes, and the world is finally watching. Stay locked in, because this story is about to get even crazier. More details dropping, more clues surfacing, and reports say the Diddy tapes are coming soon. So drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think JayZ is guilty? And do you think Beyonce knew? Make sure you like the video, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single update, because we're covering every twist that comes out. I appreciate you for rocking with me. Stay safe out there. Peace.